You can't live life and not gather experiences. And out of those experiences come conclusions. And to share those conclusions is to create growth. The more you give away, the more you get back. Give and it shall be given unto you again. And so in the cross-pollination of people talking, and what, to be honest with you, as I wrote the book, nature teaches us that no fruit is born without cross-pollination. And we must think about that as humans, that if we don't cross-pollinate one with the other, we won't be as fruitful as we would have been had we had the courage. And I do think it takes courage to come out of your bubble and talk and listen and learn and not always show up as a teacher, but to come into the room as a student. On the impetus of that ideology comes this tremendous premise of listening. Every great orator is a great listener. And I think we have lost not our ability to speak, not yet, but we have lost our ability to listen. Because the only thing we do is pause while we formulate our next approach to attack, okay? And that's not listening, that's strategizing. But if we actually take the time to listen, most of us all want the same things. Most of us want to be loved. Most of us want to be appreciated. Most of us want to be accepted, flaws and all. Most of us, if we have children, want what's best for our children. Most of us are scared. Most of us are anxious and are worried. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we communicate? We're better together than we are apart. And we don't have to agree about everything. But in the process of meeting, I found it's hard to hate somebody you understand. And in the process of meeting, your perspectives broaden, sometimes to the point that you are ejected from the tribe, because people who are not exposed are intimidated by people who are exposed. But people who are exposed, it's worth it to lose the sanctity of your citizenship and the tribe of how you describe yourself to enter into the broader world of a human experience before you die. There's something to be learned, and people of faith and people not of faith, we need to communicate to survive as a species. And I want to drive this point a little bit deeper. If you're going to be successful in business today, you cannot build your business around people like you. You have to build your business in a very broad, eclectic way, because the world is becoming broad and eclectic. And a narrow mind also causes you to be less successful at the end of your career, because you're niche marketing an item that could have a broad appeal if you didn't think within the prison of your own experiences. But by the same token, if you were taken out of your world and had to go live in his world, he would have to teach you how to do it. So we need people who mentor us into the next dimension of our lives, regardless of our perspectives or our backgrounds. And understanding that, embracing that, and resisting the gravitational pull to condescend to what is acceptable by a few. And a lot of people, black, white, brown, rich, poor, listening at us right now, run the risk of dying the death of being normal or average, rather than being exceptional and being fruitful to the full extent of your potential, wherever that takes you. It's not about necessarily being rich. It's about being fulfilled or filled full to the fullest of the highest expression of yourself. And so I think that's something important. It's frustrating, no matter where you park your car and no matter the square footage of your home, to pull into the driveway or the carport or the sidewalk and feel like I never got to be as far as I could see. We have to keep talking, even though we're uncomfortable, and even though we get blowback, and even though we get the pull where you're going to be disowned by your fellow citizens. Don't stop because somebody says you don't belong over there. Don't drop the mic because destiny is in front of you and history is behind you. And why would you live in your history when you can excel in your destiny? I found out it is not what they say about you that limits you the most. It's that you might believe them and start saying that to yourself. And there were many people who said that I would never be anything. I just chose not to be one of them. You can overcome theirs all day long. What I'm getting at, I'm not bragging, I'm going to make a point. Don't let people describe you, because if they do, they will incarcerate you. And it's all right to say he's a preacher, but if you put a period where I believe God put a comma, you limit me down to how you understand me. I'm a person, and a person has more than one gift, more than one talent, more than one pursuit. And if you've got a great job, that's good, but there's more in you than what you do. And to explore all of the possibilities and all of the potentials, do everything, and do it scared, because you're gonna be scared. Every time you get out of your comfort zone, it is horrifying, but it is also titillating, and it is also inspiring, and it is also nerve-wracking. But you are never more alive than when you're outside of your normal. Your glands secrete different types of hormones when you're outside of your normal. Your brain starts spinning, your blood starts rushing, your adrenaline increases. Most of us are dying of boredom. We're dying of routine, and we were made to be adventurous. We don't roar like the lion. We don't move like the jackal. We don't slither like the snake. We don't bite like a viper. Our only weapon that's been given to us is our brain. And we're the only species on Earth that has developed languages and written languages and spoken languages and read languages and built buildings and built ships. And you don't see ants anywhere driving around in automobiles. You know, our brain is our weapon. And when your brain gets locked down to living within the confinements of other people's expectations, it starts to wither. It ceases to be. I had a therapist tell me one time, your body will do everything that it did when it was a baby. The reason you can't do it as you get older is that you stop doing it. And so when I say don't drop the mic, I guess I'm kind of saying don't stop doing it. Keep moving into awkward positions, because if you don't do that, your body will freeze to the level of its usage. That's true of your brain too. That's true of your innovation. That's true of your creativity. So when I'm talking about don't drop the mic, get scared sometime. Get where you're not the boss. Walk into a room where you're not the teacher. Walk into a place where you don't know the rules, because then you become broader and you become more interesting and you become more global and more usable in diverse circumstances and situations. But I would go all of those places. I spoke for the Senate. I spoke for the White House. I spoke for 9 heads of state around the world. Don't let people limit you to what they think is appropriate for you. Do everything that you are gifted enough to do. Now, there are some things I will never do. I will probably never conduct a symphony. But whatever is in your inventory is all you can produce. Explore yourself, explore your world, and to articulate to your audience, not just understanding your text, but also understanding your audience. Because your audience is different, and you cannot be a great communicator if you only understand your material, but you don't make it relative to your audience. Connecting is the art of the game. Communication is about connecting with other people, and in order to do that, you have to listen, learn, and understand that your preferences, culture, ideas, and concepts are not the only ones on the planet. And if you're going to be effective at reaching more people, you have to be broad enough to at least embrace the notion of how they hear what you are saying.